Richard Branson is the founder of Virgin Group and one of the world's most successful entrepreneurs. Virgin Group started with Virgin Records and went on to have over 400 companies. We call Branson a serial businessman. His life is full of ups and downs and struggles. The path to attaining $1 million net worth wasn't easy for him. Still, he made it to Times Magazine's 100 Most Influential People in 2007. So, what's his success mantra? Watch this video to the end and you'll find out about the incredible beginner story of Richard Branson. Richard was born in 1950 in Surrey, United Kingdom. He initially studied at Skatecliff School but couldn't do well in academics because of his dyslexia. Due to his health condition, Richard always struggled to keep up with his classmates. That's why he was later moved to boarding school in Buckinghamshire called the Stowe School. When he turned 16, Richard Branson decided to drop out and never return to any education institution. This was deemed a socially disastrous move. Wary of criticism from his family and folks, Richard Branson established Student. It was a youth culture magazine, published to create awareness among students about different issues and to help them solve day-to-day life problems. Student magazine's first issue was published in 1996. He sold 8,000 copies in the promotion and released 50,000 copies for free. That's when his entrepreneurial journey started. Little did he know that he would end up building a multi-billion-dollar empire one day. After success with his small-scale publishing venture, Richard was keen to do more as an entrepreneur. He established a mail-order company called Virgin that provided funding for his magazine. At that time, Richard Branson lived in a commune in London, where he got introduced to the rich music scene of the country. After realizing the true potential of British music, Richard decided to launch a record shop on London's Oxford Street. It was 1970 and Richard was just 20 years old when he found Virgin Records. Virgin Records signed the first contract in 1973, and the artist was Mike Oldfield. His song Tubular Bells dominated the top spot on the UK charts for 247 weeks. That was massive for a newbie venture like Virgin Records, and even stunned Richard Branson. His trust in Oldfield shows Branson's knack for spotting talent. After this first incredible success, Virgin Records signed more record deals with iconic artists like Sex Pistols, Rolling Stones, and Culture Club. Within 10 years of its founding, Virgin Records had become one of the best record companies in the world. Now, it was time to diversify his portfolio. So Branson launched Virgin Atlantic Airways in 1984 when the Cold War was at its peak. This was risky because he had to found an airline independently when no one was ready to take risk with a new business. And not to forget, Branson launched Virgin Atlantic to compete with an already well-established carrier, British Airways. During the same period, Branson also launched the Voyager Group. However, it wasn't smooth sailing for Virgin Group during the 1990s. Richard Branson faced challenging times when the music industry's sales marked a sudden, unprecedented decline, making it difficult for Virgin Records to survive in the market. Virgin Group experienced dire financial issues, forcing it to sell Virgin Records. Branson later stated that selling his company, Music's division, was the most painful decision of his life, as he felt like he was selling his child. Still, the deal was necessary for the survival of the Virgin Group. So, in 1992, Richard sold Virgin Records to Thor EMI for $1 billion. This was indeed a setback for the conglomerate. He used the money to establish a series of Virgin megastores in the prestigious location of Oxford Street. He managed to avert the financial crisis into a profitable situation for the company. During the late 1990s, Branson's Virgin Group underwent massive expansion and launched Virgin Trains, Virgin Mobile, and Virgin Galactic, a company created to explore space tourism. However, troubling times were far from over for Branson's Virgin Group. Many of his new ventures, including Virgin Brides, Virgin Cosmetics, and most notably Virgin Cola, failed to make any profits. Virgin Megastores and Virgin Trains also shut down within 10 years of their establishment. Anyone would have given up on trying after so many unsuccessful businesses, but Richard Branson wasn't one to let disappointments affect his resolve. He continues to pursue his goal of making Virgin Group one of the leading conglomerates in the world. Branson knew failures were a mandatory part of the process, so he used his bad experiences as a learning lesson to improve his upcoming business endeavors. Since Branson was not afraid of failure, the Virgin brand became booming. By the early 2000s, Virgin Group had become a global brand. It boasted over 200 companies and had footprints in more than 30 countries. Virgin Group's capital kept growing, and Richard Branson got established as a self-made billionaire. He later shifted his focus to more innovative ventures. His most ambitious project to date is a high-speed train called Hyperloop in England. the promotion of space travel tourism, and the Virgin Earth Challenge program to stop global warming. Hyperloop aims to create a globally accessible and more comfortable form of fast transportation. Virgin Earth Challenge offers prize money of $25 million to people who come up with commercially viable ways to eliminate greenhouse gases from the atmosphere. The Virgin Galactic project has been under development for more than a decade. Branson wants to make space tourism affordable and available to the masses. This project completed several flights at the first commercial spaceport, Spaceport America. The project is currently working on improving space travel safety and experience. Branson now wants to focus on land and space travel because it can contribute to addressing climate change. Before we move on, take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to receive updates on when new videos in this series are posted. What can we learn from Richard Branson's success story? Throughout Branson's life story, we couldn't help noticing one aspect of his personality: that he never hesitated to trust his gut feeling, take risk, and learn from his mistakes. He remained true to his ideology of making this brand a global conglomerate, making life easier for people. Here are some important life lessons to remember from Richard Branson's story. Be brave enough to deal with challenges. Richard Branson has faced many diverse challenges in his life. The 70-year-old billionaire entrepreneur was diagnosed with dyslexia and a neurodevelopmental disorder called attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. These health conditions made life difficult for Branson as he couldn't adjust to the conventional learning system. However, he never let these issues hinder his path to success. In fact, he once stated that he considered dyslexia an opportunity rather than a disability. His belief system is one of the primary factors that helped him become a self-made millionaire. Don't let failures affect you. Many of Branson's entrepreneurial ventures failed to attract customers. He had to sell Virgin Records, which was mentally traumatic for Branson. He reportedly cried after signing the contract with Thor EMI, but 3 years later, Branson established Altogether Records. Branson established another record company called V2 and signed artists like Powderfinger and Tom Jones. Virgin Cola was by far his most disastrous business venture that could only capture 0.5% of the overall U.S. market share and stopped making cola in 2012. Virgin Cosmetics offered a wide range of products, from beauty to jewelry and homeware. These products were sold online or at Virgin megastores. However, this venture was also unsuccessful. Virgin Brides was launched in 1996 at different locations in England, but this was also a short-lived business that stopped operating in 2007. Despite so many businesses shutting down due to low sales, Branson remained undeterred in trying new business domains. He learned from his failures and used the experience as a guideline for future projects. Diversify your portfolio. Very few entrepreneurs have diversified their portfolios as much as Richard Branson. He launched a record company called Virgin Records, and then he started an airline called Virgin Atlantic, for which he leased 747 airplanes to fly to and from New York and Gatwick and compete with British Airways. Alongside, he launched Virgin Cargo and Virgin Holidays. Other big brands associated with the Virgin Group include Virgin Money, Virgin Media, Virgin Galactic, Virgin Mobile, and Virgin Trains. He now owns hundreds of companies worldwide, including in Australia, Canada, South Africa, the US, and parts of Europe and Asia. This proves how important it is to diversify your business. Never lose an opportunity. Branson always had a knack for profits and had an incredible entrepreneurial streak. He always eyed an opportunity before others and converted it into a successful venture. His first venture, Virgin Records, started from a small record shop in Oxfordshire and proved so profitable that Branson could launch an airline and a series of new brands because of it. Never give up. Richard Branson continued to be an inspiration to every entrepreneur in the world. His never give up approach is another crucial factor in his success. He faced many setbacks, but always found the will and courage to bounce back and chase his dreams. This indefatigable spirit allowed him to turn things around for Virgin Group and surpass competitors. Richard Branson is the ideal example of using failures as stepping stones for success. We hope you liked this video and that it inspires you to set your own goals to build your own wealth. Please share your thoughts in the comments section, including which of these takeaways you'll apply in your own life. If there's a specific successful entrepreneur you'd like to see profiled, leave your suggestions in the comments as well. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons. Press the bell icon to stay connected. This is Aimed Intentions, and thanks for watching.